Come on, everybody.
Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Sing along. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, and still you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. Spirit waits with open arms, calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in. There is room enough in the home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved, you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, come on in, come on in.
Good morning. Good morning. Another fine-looking crowd. Thank you. If you have your phone with you, feel free to check in on Facebook. Tell them that you're at Unity, having a great time. But maybe also check and see if your volume's down. That'd be a great thing to do. So anyways, welcome to Unity of London today, whether you're here with us physically or online. Howdy doody. You're in your jammies, aren't you? Those people that don't want to get up and get dressed. Is there anyone here for the very first time? No. Okay, well, welcome everybody. And if you would like any material about Unity, we have a great table at the back. I was back there this morning looking, and we've got some great affirmations and little booklets, so feel free to check it out. What's next, Larry? Oh, I can do this maybe. Oh, no, I went too fast. Special announcements.
We both did it.
There we go. We're in for a real treat next week. Paul Luftenegger. Luftenegger? Did I say that right?
Yep.
Yes. He's here at Unity. He's going to be our special musician during the service. But he's also doing a workshop, The Voice of Consciousness, following that. He'll be using music, I'm sure, as he did last time. It's a suggested love offering of $20, I believe. And with our suggested love offering, if you don't know, that means that you pay what you can. No one's ever turned away. So if you can put it in your schedule, I'm sure it'll be a great time. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing and hearing Paul again. So, and do we have anything else? October is membership month. So pick up your membership form. They're at the back of the room. Larry's waving one back there. So pick up your membership form. And I think we've changed them. So each year from here on, we're going to just initial them and move on, and don't have to fill out unless your name if your name hasn't changed. Your address might have changed. Although I know people that decide to change their name just because they want it. So maybe you have. And next, our vision. So Unity of London has the same vision as almost all the Unity centers all around the world, and let's affirm that together with some real energy and heartfelt. A world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening. And we do that with our mission here in London, that it is transforming, or we are transforming lives. And one humanity, many stories. And I think that's not, I think the person that was supposed to be doing that maybe isn't in today or here today. Yeah. Let's sing a song. Yay!
poison I've heard for years. I learned to keep it inside, but now it's coming in loud and clear. I want to keep her alive. This is my love, this is my laughter, this is my comfort and smile. This is my love, this is my kindness, this is my heart open wide. This is my love, this is my magic, this is my taking a chance. This is my love, this is my service, this is my lending a hand. Lending a hand. Swing wide the doors to tiny try. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors to tiny try. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
Good morning, Unity of London. Good morning. Unity's foundation is affirmative prayer. That means Unity defines prayer as the most highly accelerated mind action known. It's an affirmation of truth and a communion between you and all that is. Through prayer, the mind is renewed and circumstances transformed. If you wish prayer for someone else or for yourself, you are invited to use our prayer box, which is right here at the front of this chapel. No need to explain the situation. Just put a first name on a piece of paper and place it in the box. Divine Mind is all-knowing. It will be prayed over here at Unity by our prayer angels for 30 days and then sent on to Silent Unity for additional prayer. Remember, 24 hours a day, you can call 1-800-NOW-PRAY to reach Silent Unity, where people have been praying with and for people for over 130 years. If you wish private one-on-one prayer or the sharing of healing energy, our prayer chaplain will be available in the room just off of the fellowship hall. And she is available at the back in the prayer chapel following the service. Just take a seat on the chair in front of them in the room. Today's prayer chaplain is Pauline Duncan Thrasher. Please come forward, Pauline, and lead us in prayer.
I invite you to close your eyes if you feel comfortable and go to your heart space, that center of divine healing energy. Today we keep in mind all religious faiths, all spiritual faiths all over the world. And here in London, we send out our loving respect to those who are worshiping and praying. We also keep in mind today Unity Church of Mississauga and hold in prayer as well Unity of Derry. There are times in our lives when we face extra challenges. They may be physical or emotional or even spiritual. When we need an extra oomph, when we need an extra source of faith or love or courage. And to all those who may be watching, or to those of us who are here right now, we realize that it's not always easy to reaffirm the power that we have within, the divine energy that is available to us. It may not be easy, but it is accessible. And we hold fast to our belief that divine source is with us 24 hours a day. that divine source of all that we need to be strong in mind and body. I invite you now to whisper the names of anyone you wish to hold in prayer today. To anyone in our community who needs something special, something strengthening, something enfolded in love. We affirm that for whoever is most in need right now. And we hold this in our hearts, and we say, so it is. Amen.
And now for our message from the Daily Word. Today's theme is illumination. As I look within, the light of understanding dawns in me. As I look to the east on a clear morning, I see the sky begin to grow lighter about an hour before sunrise. The changes in color are nearly imperceptible at first. Birds begin their morning songs as the sky grows brighter. Then, as golden rays of light proclaim the rising sun, I hear these words from the creation story of Genesis. Let there be light, and there is light. Illumination, the light of spiritual understanding, dawns within my own consciousness in much the same way. The darkness of ignorance begins to lighten. Insights emerge, dimly at first, then more vividly. Finally, understanding pours forth like the radiant morning sun, and there is light. Then God said, let there be light, and there was light. Genesis 1, verse 3.
This month, the theme for Unity is gratitude. And we thought we just never heard a song. So we did. I want to tell you a story, I don't mean to be rude. It's all about my personal attitude. I'm not talking about a worn out gratitude. What keeps me going? Why no gratitude? I've got an attitude of gratitude, one that should be valued. I don't want to be misconstrued, 'cause my attitude is gratitude, yes it is. You can live your life and go way you choose. What really matters are the tacos that you use. I don't want to preach, don't want to confuse, but what works for me may very well work for you. I got an attitude of gratitude, one that should be valued. I don't want to be misconstrued, 'cause my attitude is gratitude. Gratitude is my way of life. It takes me through all kinds of strife. I'm happy for the ways that I've given them. No doubt gratitude is there. I'm going to tell you a story, and I don't mean to be rude. It's all about, don't you know, my personal attitude. I'm not talking about worn out gratitude. What keeps me going, let you know, attitude is gratitude. My attitude is gratitude. My attitude is gratitude. Yes, it is. Attitude is gratitude. That's what you got.
Good job, thank you. Well, our guest speaker today is Sheila Mayaye. We were giggling because I had to confirm how to say her last name. She said stutter. But anyways, it's Sheila Mayaye. And many of us have had the pleasure of hearing Sheila with her words of wisdom, giving lessons here at Unity of London in the past. But for those of you that don't know her, Sheila's been involved in Unity for over 30 years. She's been a licensed Unity teacher for 6 years, since 2013. She lives in Guelph with her husband, who's French. We'll leave that. We had a little fun. But her husband and her 2 cats. And we have lots of cat lovers here at Unity of London. And she tells me that she's had a very eclectic road down the path for developing her spirituality. So maybe she'll share a few points from her past as well today. Let's give a warm Unity of London welcome to Sheila Mayaye.
Thank you so much. And I really feel that warm Unity welcome right from the time I walked in the door. And I can't tell you how much that means other than, boy, the theme of gratitude. Yes, absolutely. Sawubona. Sawubona is a Zulu greeting that means I see you. Not just I see you this way, but I see you as in the Christ within me sees the Christ within you. And that's my commitment to bringing my best self here this morning, to see and call forth your best self, to see my best self, so that we can create that incredible hour together of sharing and energetic exchange that I hope you will find inspirational, healing, transformative, or at the very least spiritually nourishing. So yes, good morning and welcome. So, affirm, change of thought. And that's the title for this morning, and it speaks to the second chapter of the book that I believe you folks started last week, which is Life Loves You by Robert Holden. And it's about Louise Hay, and it's sharing her teachings from his perspective. And this is really a deep dive into the value and use of affirmations. Okay, imagine a steel box, okay? You just picture it in your mind, a solid steel box, no openings, with a bird trapped inside. How do you get the bird out if you have no tools? Any ideas? Louder? Lift it. If it's like sealed in, all sides?
Imagine it out.
Imagine it out. Absolutely. You imagined it in, imagine it out. And that is really boils down to the sum of the message today. Happiness and freedom are only a thought away. Take that in. Happiness and freedom are only a thought away. Simple, not always easy. Okay, so when is it easy? When outside circumstances match it? Easy, right? Our thoughts are right in there. We're in. Our feelings match what we're seeing around us. It's great. When does it become difficult? When the external circumstances don't match the way we would prefer or the way we think things should be, then it's not so easy to get our thoughts and feelings out ahead of, to be in a co-creative, to be in the position of creating rather than the position of reacting to the circumstances. And boy, when those circumstances really don't match the way we would prefer, It's tough, right? Okay. So, what we are today comes from our thoughts of yesterday. This is a quote from the Buddha that Louise Hay feels is important enough that Robert Holden put it in 3 times in this chapter. Significant. And our present thoughts build our life tomorrow. And I would qualify that or clarify that a little bit to say that it's not just our thoughts, it's really more about the frequency of our thoughts. What I mean by that, and this speaks to unity, principle number 3, the law of mind action. Energy follows thought. We are vibrational beings living in a vibrational universe. You've all heard that before, I believe, in one form or another. And this is just an outworking of that. So where we want to go with that is recognizing it and making our thoughts vibrate consciously. So to change our thoughts is to change our life. And again, this is an important idea that the book comes back to over and over and over again. And it goes back to the first 2 slides that I've showed you. And really what it's saying is that as vibrational beings in a vibrational universe, we are transmitters and receivers of frequency, of energy. And it's where we tune ourselves, the frequency that our thoughts are tuned to, that is actually doing the attracting or the creating. That's, if you strike a tuning fork, other tuning forks that are of the same frequency, of the same tone, vibrate. Okay? If it's a dissonant, it doesn't vibrate. In the same way that if you're tuned to, 96.1 blues, you are not going to hear the songs that are playing on 108 Seajoy, right? Like you don't expect to be able to tune to one radio frequency and dial in the songs that are playing on another frequency. Likewise on TV, right? So we understand that on radio or television, but somehow we feel that we can be in a miserable state of mind, and if things out there would just be happier, we could be happy too. It's not going to happen. We're not tuned into those higher frequencies. That happiness, that freedom, that joy, they're inside jobs. We are the co-creators of the frequency. It's up to us to get out ahead of what we're creating. It's up to us to get out ahead of the circumstances. And again, simple, not easy. And until we get this idea and see how our frequencies are creating our experience of the world, we're going to continue to be victims of our circumstances. Whatever the way the wind outside is blowing is the way our thoughts and feelings are going to blow. The moment we understand the truth of our being, know principle number 2 of unity, that we are extensions of creative source energy. We are the spark of divinity. We are co-creators. When we step into that, then all of a sudden our joy is not dependent on anything external. We have the power within us. So it's not about what's happening out there, it's about what we're doing and how we're experiencing it, what meaning we're giving it. Course in Miracles says nothing has meaning but the meaning we give it. And so this whole idea of getting out ahead of our thoughts is about consciously choosing the meaning we give the things that we're experiencing. And it's like, okay, so what are our thoughts and ideas? And how do we choose them? And I don't know about you, but I have definitely come to the realization that the thoughts that pop into my head, I have no control over what pops into my head. I do have control over what I do with it. Whether it stays, whether I grow it, whether I add to it, whether I amplify it, or whether I hit delete or move on or modify. You can think of divine mind as a giant ocean teeming with fish ideas and thoughts. And our minds are the transmitters like fishing lines, casting into divine mind for a thought or an idea or an inspiration. And what determines what fish you catch? So if you've got your line out there, what idea you catch, what thought you catch, it's the bait you put on the hook. Okay, so high frequency affirmations make great bait. So what is an affirmation? An affirmation is a new beginning. It's a conscious thought of a particular vibration. Now, you could argue that every word we speak, every thought we think is an affirmation because it carries vibration, right? In Unity, we tend to use the word affirmation as consciously chosen thoughts and words that we consciously put out there with intention to create the vibration that we want. Kind of like in the previous slide where we have the fingers on the radio dial, tuning to a specific frequency. So this is really what affirmations are about. And it's like, what makes a powerful affirmation? First of all, it's very helpful if you believe it. You say that, but you go, okay, so Unity principles all the time, right? We say, I am, wealthy and healthy and whole. And if your bank account is empty and you're sick, it doesn't, your mind just goes, BS, belief system. And you have so first of all, you either have to deal with it and recognize, okay, I'm not believing this, and acknowledge that this is a belief, and work on changing that belief, seeing past it to a truth, a deeper truth, an inner truth that knows that there is only one, there is only wholeness, and in wholeness there can be no lack and limitation. And if I'm not seeing the wholeness, if I'm seeing lack and limitation out here, I need to put on new glasses. I need to see it different. The problem isn't out here. The problem is with my vision, with my thinking. I need to shift that, find my abundance, find my well-being, recognize the 99% of me that is just fine, recognize the abundance of cells in my body, dishes in my sink that need washing. You have abundance of all kinds, of one form or another. Tap into it, feel it, own it. Abundance of pennies in the jar on the table. Abundance of love in my family or in my relationships. There's all kinds of places that we can find abundance of stars in the sky, of grass that needs to be cut, whatever. So it's about tuning into and finding those frequencies. Louise Hay says, "My mind is very creative. Today I choose to think loving and creative thoughts." Let's affirm that together. My mind is very creative. Today I choose to think loving and creative thoughts.
No plumbing.
Now that is bait on a hook that will draw inspiration, that will draw to you the expressions of health and wealth and wholeness and relationship that you're looking for. And it's about, have you ever had mind worms or stories that are running around in your head that just, and you go, this is so not helpful, and you redirect your mind, and the next thing you know, there it is going again? So the value of having an affirmation, and put it to rhyme, or put it to song, so that you create an earworm. So having one that can just disrupt it, overplay it, interrupt it. If your mind is running on this, it's not running on the other, even if you don't totally believe this. Just hearing it over and over and over and over again is more likely to be helpful than hearing your mind rattle on the negative stories that you've got running, which is just another way of using affirmations. And I would add to this affirmation, regardless of outside circumstances, which means that whatever's happening out here, it doesn't have to affect what's happening in here. And you go, well, of course it does. If you take a breath, you realize that you actually have a choice in there. For example, traffic jam, 401, thousands of cars all stuck in the same traffic jam. Is everybody's experience of the traffic jam the same? No. There'll be one person that's hopping mad. There will be another person that's totally relieved. And that they have a good excuse for not having to be where they're supposed to be. There'll be somebody else that couldn't care less. They're just working away on their audiobook. They're just sitting there doing their thing. Everybody's experience of it is different. So it's not the outer experience, it's what we do with it that makes the difference. And when we choose positive things to do with it, helpful things to do with it, we are putting bait on the hook so that our next moment of time, our next segment of time, will resonate at this new frequency rather than at the frequency of the thing that we would not prefer. Thoughts have no power but the power that we give them. As Louise Hay says, the only thing we ever really deal with is thoughts, and thoughts can be changed. So when we recognize that the thoughts we're thinking are not helpful, we have the opportunity to change them. Recognizing that we are more than our thoughts and feelings. Anybody that's been caught in depression, anybody that's been caught in intense, long-term emotions like that or feelings, we can start to believe that our condition or our label is the truth of our being. Reminding ourselves that we are so much more and actively looking for it. And if you can't say, I am a child of God and mean it, perhaps you could say, I am willing to be open to the thought that maybe perhaps I might be a child of God, or I might be more than my thoughts. Any little opening we give, Spirit can work with and heal us. The fullness of potential is there within every single cell of our being. We have that opportunity to call it forth and choose. We are so free, we can choose bondage and limitation. And when we choose bondage and limitation, we stand in a prison in our own mind with the door open that we have the key to. We're free to let ourselves out at any point. Anybody that's worked with Emily or with Byron Katie's work will know the power of questioning your thoughts. When you feel a thought that doesn't fit, when you think a thought or feel a feeling that doesn't feel good, that can be a red flag to say, okay, that is different than how my higher self is feeling. This is not the way my God self and my higher self, this is not the way life sees this situation. This is my opportunity to look for a different way of seeing it. This is my opportunity to reframe it. This is my opportunity to come up with something different. And then do that. Go fishing for a new thought. What's another way I can see this? Or calling this into question, say, is this thought really true? That wonderful teenage, and you gotta get the eye roll right. Really? Like when you hear yourself, because of the old lines, from when the time we were zero that were pounded into us, when you start to question them, they disappear. Like, I'm stupid. Really? Come on, inner critic, you can do better than that. It's about recognizing there is that higher truth. No, I'm brilliant. Your inner critic has never achieved anything. Who do you listen to? You listen to those who have what you want and have been where you are. Does your inner critic have what you want? Never done anything. All its advice, it has nothing useful to offer. The best you can take from it is okay, there's something maybe here that I could look at for improvement. But it's thanks for sharing back at the bus. You're entitled to an opinion, you can't drive. Give me the keys. You know, and remembering that, so that when the old tapes get running, and maybe it's only me, but there's a few of them, you recognize them quicker and you call them on it. And you create something different. Unity founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were strong advocates of affirmations. Their whole silent unity is founded on affirmation. Their whole basis of prayer was founded on affirmation. Where it came from was Myrtle came out of a lecture from E.B. Weeks in which she heard the idea that as a child of God, she does not inherit sickness. It was like a light went on. That idea stuck. And she went, ah. As a child of God, I do not inherit sickness. She worked with that affirmation and apologized to all the cells of her body for ever seeing them as less than whole and perfect. She healed her tuberculosis at a time when that wasn't really an option. Her husband, who saw her healing, went, there must be something to this, and also began exploring that spirit, that connecting with that higher self, exploring the prayer, exploring affirmation, exploring the higher dimensions. And the two of them, that was the basis of unity. That was the founding of unity. One of his affirmations that he was using when he was 90 was, I fairly sizzle with zeal to leap forward to do, with the mighty faith, to do all the things that ought to be done by me. I hope I'm saying that at 93. Yeah, there it is. So let's affirm that together. I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do the things that are to be done by me today. And so it is. Let that be. Life loves you. All of you. This is an affirmation that the whole book is about. One of the most powerful affirmations are the ones that work on our own psyche, that are coming in, bring us and call us into the truth of our being, which is wholeness, brilliance, love, light, life. Knowing that we are lovable, knowing that we don't have to earn the love of God, it's there for us. Feeling and knowing that wholeness for ourselves. And not just the bits and pieces of us, but all of us. Louise recommends the 10 dot challenge, which is to take 10 little stickies and put them around your house or around your environment where you see them throughout the day. And every time you see one, make an affirmation. And perhaps it's the life loves me affirmation. Or perhaps it's another one that you're working with. But just to do that so that you're, seeing it and embodying it on a consistent basis. And so we'll take that into meditation, and as we do, I'm going to be inviting you to bring this affirmation of life loves you, all of you, to include those darker parts of yourself. It's coming up to Halloween. Halloween is my favorite season of the year. From Thanksgiving to Halloween, you go, Sheila, Halloween's not even a spiritual holiday. Yes, it is! It's Halloween, the celebration of death, the honoring death, the dealing with things that haunt us. It's not the comfortable spiritual holiday, but it's the spiritual holiday that precedes Christmas and birth. Death, hallowed Eve, sacred Eve, holy Eve. This is the first holiday that was so secularized that nobody even recognizes it as a holy holiday. When you take Halloween, that holy Eve, that celebration of our mortality, that honoring death, that cleaning up of things that haven't died, you know, the undead that are in your closet, the UFOs. You know, there are a lot of things that haunt us, and when we take the time to come to them spiritually and address them and deal with them, we can heal a lot. And I highly encourage you to reclaim Halloween as a sacred and holy time. You know, rewrite your will, write a letter to someone who has passed over, talk with someone who has passed over, dress up as something you aspire to be. Take a jacket, take a pumpkin and hollow out the muck as if you're hollowing out the negative thoughts in your head and taking out the seed ideas. And put a light in there so that your light shines through your eyes. Put on a face that you'd like to project to the world. Reclaim the holiness of this sacred holiday. And so, yes, let's take that into meditation.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel its mighty power and its grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place.
So I invite you just to settle into your chair. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. Feel the chair supporting you. Breathe gently. Notice any tension in your body anywhere and invite it to let go. Just relax. Feel into your heart space. Breathe into your heart space. Allow life to breathe you. And inhale and exhale. Life lives you. Life loves you. With each inhalation and with each exhalation, life loves you. All of you. Who are you? I invite you to allow a one-word answer to that question to surface. And as it does, feel the response to that. Life loves me, all of me. Who am I? I am my titles. Father, mother, daughter, worker, engineer, teacher, consumer. And with each answer, hear the words, feel the feeling. Life loves me, all of me. Who are you? I am the thinker of thoughts, the extension of creative source energy. Feel the answers to that question, who am I? And feel the response, life loves me, all of me. I am the procrastinator, I am the liar, I am the killer. And if you feel a visceral reaction to that, acknowledge that you've swatted a mosquito or killed a thought. and feel the response. Life loves me, all of me. Who are you? I am my thoughts and feelings. I am my actions. I am my words. Who are you? Feel the answer. Life loves me, all of me. I invite you to take some time now in the silence, asking and answering that question. Who am I? And pausing to feel the response. Life loves me, all of me. When we celebrate our talents and skills and assets, and when we acknowledge our weaknesses and challenges, the parts of us that we're not proud of, that we can bring those to the light for healing and transformation, knowing that Spirit loves all of us, and that turning our thoughts inward and Godward raises frequency, heals life, celebrates life, opens us to new possibilities. With the assurance that we have the opportunity to come to this space at any time, we give thanks. Deepest gratitude. That wonderful attitude of gratitude. And we smile at our inner critic who has something to say about how we did it. And we thank them for sharing and invite them to take a seat quietly at the back of the bus. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Thank you so much, Sheila. May I just had to say that because to prove to myself that I could. Thank you so much for sharing so powerfully and from the bottom of your heart that our thoughts have no power over us except the power we give them. What a message to remember as we go into the week. Now it's our time for giving and receiving your tithes and offerings. Our unity principles teach us we are one with divine source, and so we give not to source, but as source. Giving has been described as a spiritual practice of radical generosity, giving to what we wish to see flourish. Giving puts us in the flow of divine abundance. By the back door of the sanctuary on the wall, you will find intention cards. These may also be placed in the offering bag. This week, our prayer angels will uphold your intentions for what you want to achieve, either as a plan for your day or for your life. Now, let us affirm our prosperity together by singing our offering blessing.
Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and so it is. Well, here's another Unity tune that talks about memories, about the good and the bad baggage that we carry with us. We talked about that. This suggests that pick the good ones and build on them. They see we're never that angry or quite that serene. Memories are the days of passing time. They may be kind or maybe wonderful. They're yours and they are mine. We can't change the past, we can't change what's happened. That's just how reality is, we all say. But we can change the way we recall things today. And for sadness, just chase it away. Bring us down. We try to cast a shadow over future ground. Memories are strong and we believe. We choose to see the good ones, the bad ones you can leave. We can't change the past, we can't change what's happened. That's just how reality is, we all say. We can't change the way we recall things today. And for sadness, just chase it away. Memories are the last things we will say when the thrill of life is passing into decay. Memories should be at our beck and call. We don't ever need them all. They're the good ones you recall. We can't change the past, we can't change what's happened. That's how realities we all stay. We can change the way we recall things today, and for sad days, just chase it away. Good memories come to regret. Let the good ones lead you, forget about the rest. Memories, wipe the bad ones from the slate. Let the good ones lead you, chase the bad ones far away. Memories, memories, oh, memories.
So I invite you to join me in blessing these offerings and tithes today. We are so grateful for the abundance that this community is experiencing, and we know that it is expanding as our spiritual home, Unity of London, is prepared for greater abundance than it has ever known, so that it can give to the world in greater ways than ever known. And these gifts and tithes are proof of that, and we know that this is truth, and so it is. Amen.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us that can't be undone. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present is what we're made of. I choose love. We are all part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
So as you go about your week, take control and use your high frequency affirmations to change your life. And now our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me, I am light. The love of God enfolds me, I am love. The power of God protects me, I am power. The presence of God watches over me, I am presence. Wherever I am, God is, I am divine. Yay,
Spread the word of what unity can offer. Spread the word of the message that you heard. Spread the word of what it means in your life. Spread the word, spread the word, spread